Good afternoon, guys, and happy, what's today, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. Oh my goodness. I am so tired, guys. Long story, I didn't end up having coffee today. And so I have been tired since probably about 3 o'clock today. Like, I've been tired pretty much ever since I woke up, but then, like, in mid-afternoon today, I was just, like, falling asleep, like, out in the living room. No lie, guys. If I don't have coffee, I will wind up falling asleep. So, Charles, what are you doing? You're so cute. But guys, I will tell you guys, I did get to something pretty good today, which I think is also kind of what ended up wearing me out. I did wind up actually weeding the 2 back flower beds, which were probably the worst flower beds to weed in the backyard, or the worst flower beds that we had that needed weeding. They're the only 2 really in the backyard. And so I got to both of those today, which, like I said, were pains in the butt. But the one of them had like a bunch of like those, like, not elephant ears, but like those burrs, and they were like they almost look like rhubarb, kind of, whatever they are, I don't know, but they're like the burrs, and they, we started getting them like maybe a year or 2 ago, and I'd probably say 2 years ago at least that I've noticed, and they've been really bad. Last year I thought I, like, you know, dug them out enough where they weren't going to come back or whatever, like, you know, dug them out deep enough. But no, they were back again this year, and the really tough part is that I have to actually dig them out with like a shovel, because they are just too hard to pull out. Like, if I try and pull them out, I don't wind up getting like anything other than like the stems. So I actually had to like dig down. I still didn't wind up getting like the entire, you know, the whole like root or anything like that. So I'll probably wind up having to go back out there and do it again at some point, but at least it's kind of somewhat done. Which, that was a pain. That was probably the biggest, like, or like most difficult, like stressful kind of thing. And then the like, that was the what's it called, the garden by the deck, the flower bed there, and then it was like, that was like in the front section where our hostas are, and then because it's like an L-shaped one because it goes around the side of the deck, then on the other side where we had the morning glories last year, and then I also planted those lilies, which we didn't do morning glories again this year, but the lilies came back, and they're actually really nice and big, but there was a bunch of these little like weed things that were not quite as tall as the lilies yet, but they were actually super easy to pull out. So now that bed actually is probably my favorite bed, just because it actually looks like the most like put together and like kind of thought out. Like, I don't know, it just looks really nice. We've got, I think, three or four, I think, hostas there, and then there's also a little bush on the side, and then there's the lilies on the other side with clematis maybe, or some type of like vining like thing, that we have on like a what's it called, trellis, there. And so it actually, I think all of the plants that are there are very cute, and I really like those ones. Like I said, in that spot, the one that's over by the garage, which was the one that was just the most like time consuming, had a few big things, but they weren't too tough to pull out. There was a couple of dandelions, which I had to actually use like a hand shovel to get out so I could actually get the root as well. But that one was just so difficult because there was so much other stuff in the bed, and there was a lot of weeds in there. Like, that one was probably the worst as far as weeds go. Whereas like there was like a lot of different ones, and I had to weed around so much of it. Whereas like with the other stuff, like the hostas were in like one spot, you know, and then like, you know, it wind up, the burr would be like in a different spot, so I wasn't like digging into anything. But there was so much stuff in the other bed that was like near the actual plants and stuff like that, and so I had to go through all of that and pulled all of that stuff out. So I've gotten to, let's see, 4 of the 6 flower beds really that we have. The only 2 that I didn't do yet is the one that's right next to the front door, which that one I noticed doesn't really have too many weeds in it. And then there's the one actually in the front has a couple, but they're really not that bad. Like, for the most part, that one's pretty good. There seems to be more creeping Charlie trying to get into the flower bed than I think there is actually weeds in the flower bed, so that's pretty good. I think there's a couple like dandelions and stuff like that that can be pulled out. But that one for the most part is pretty good. The only tough part is that there's still a lot of stuff that's coming up right now that's still like really small, so I have to be really careful with where I'm trying to pull stuff out. So yeah, like I said, that's kind of difficult I think when I do that one, but there's really barely anything in that flower bed and that other flower bed. So it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I don't think I'll be out there again. But then Wednesday I'm actually going over to my aunt's house to go and do her gardening for her. So I am, I think I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to go with my other aunt, and so we're like figuring out what will work best for like both of our schedules, and then also to figure out what will work well with like the weather and stuff like that. So as of right now, I think Wednesday is when we're gonna go. So yeah, and like I said, it's supposed to, I think, like thunderstorm all day tomorrow. And then, what was I gonna say? On Thursday, I think it might rain also. I'm not totally sure. Or no, maybe Thursday's also supposed to be sunny. So maybe I can get out and do those front two flower beds, and just check to see and make sure there isn't anything else coming up in the other two flower beds that I did like earlier. Maybe earlier this month. I honestly don't remember when I was last out there, but yeah guys, I think that's what ended up wearing me out today. And then like I said, on top of that, I didn't end up having any coffee. I did wind up doing laundry though for today, or dishes. I did dishes. I need to do laundry. But yeah guys, I'm happy that I was actually outside, which it looked like it was gonna rain all day today, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go out there. And then I actually heard one of our neighbors, I think we're outside like maybe mowing their lawn or something like that, and I was like, well, if they're out there, I'll go out too, because then like at least two people wind up being like looking dumb and being stuck out in the rain and stuff like that. But it never ended up raining, so I was like, they must know better than I did that it wasn't gonna rain, which like I said, it was lucky that it didn't. But it was kind of cloudy looking, and like it did too at one point. We got some like really bad clouds that rolled in like later in the afternoon, but again, it never actually ended up raining. So yeah, that was, I guess, kind of nice. And it wasn't too muddy out either, like, because it hadn't rained. Well, no, maybe it rained on Saturday. And I think a little bit on Saturday, but it wasn't like so like you know, muddy or like wet outside that everything was like just complete like mush and mud and stuff like that. It was a little bad, but it wasn't too horrible. So yeah, it was, like I said, probably the best day I would be able to get out there this week. And those weeds, like I said, were starting to get a little out of control, and I was like, if I don't get out there soon, it's gonna be like it probably ended up taking me about an hour, but I was like, if I didn't get out there like today, it'd probably be like a 3-hour project, like a different day, because again, I don't know when I'd be out there, because this week, other than today, probably didn't look like I was going to be able to. But that's good, guys. So our two flower beds at least are, which like I said, those were probably the worst, next to the one that was in between ours and our neighbor's driveway. I don't know why that one got so bad at the beginning. It looked like the worst, and then the other ones looked like kind of bad, but they ended up, like I said, kind of cleaning up rather easily. And the one in between ours and our neighbor's driveway was just a pain, because it was not very easy to like get in there and kind of maneuver around that bed. And then too, because it's like so long, it took me forever to like get around to places. So I'd say that one was probably about the same amount of space as both of the two that I ended up doing in the back, like the same square footage or whatever, you know, the same like length if you were to roll it out and figure out, you know, the actual like footage, I guess, of the gardens and everything like that. So I did wind up getting to that today, guys, but like I said, I'm just super tired and exhausted. I also don't feel very well either, and I feel like I'm sore too from pulling the weeds out today, which is not going to be good too if I'm also going to go and do that now at my aunt's house on Wednesday. So we'll see though, but I'll talk to you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.